Good evening. I'm Brandon Troost, and you're watching a special report on Hurricane Sandy. In a special investigative report, we revisit one of the most devastating storms in U.S. history, Hurricane Sandy, a disaster that changed lives, landscapes, and legislation. Stick with us, because the storm may be over, but the impact still lingers. October 29th, 2012. A date forever etched into the memory of millions. Hurricane Sandy tore into the East Coast, submerging New York City streets, wiping out homes in New Jersey, and leaving over 8 million people without power. But was this just an act of nature, or a warning we chose to ignore? Hurricane Sandy, known to some as Superstorm Sandy, was a Category 1 hurricane when it made landfall, but its sheer size, being nearly 1,000 miles wide, made it catastrophic. It struck the U.S. along the eastern seaboard, primarily impacting New Jersey and New York, and spread inland to parts of the Midwest. The ecosystems affected included both terrestrial, like coastal, towns and forests, and aquatic, such as marines, bays, and beaches. Climate experts now agree warmer ocean temperatures fuel Sandy's power, while rising sea levels made storm surges even more destructive. Sandy wasn't just a storm, it was a wake-up call. In the short term, Sandy contaminated drinking water, destroyed wild habitats, and caused over 100 deaths. Long term, its saltwater flooding altered soil chemistry, decimated fish populations, and eroded entire coastlines. Even trees in Central Park died in droves due to wind and salt exposure. Plants, animals, and people were displaced and killed. Soil composition, water quality, and air pollution were dramatically altered. You may want to ask, who's responsible? While no one person can be blamed for a hurricane, many scientists and activists argue that human-driven climate change and unprepared infrastructure made the disaster worse. Were officials held accountable? Not directly, but they were pressured, and luckily, we saw change. Here, to speak on the topic, we have Dr. Climate S. Doctorman.
Happy to be here, Brandon. After Sandy, we saw billions poured into mitigation. Seawalls in Lower Manhattan, upgraded power grids, restored wetlands for natural food barriers. FEMA and local government revised emergency plans, but this is just the start. Without aggressive climate policy, we're still at risk. Sandy's destruction helped push major resilience projects, and it directly influenced President Obama's 2013 Climate Action Plan. Agencies like the EPA began reassessing flood zone maps and stormwater infrastructure. Sandy made one thing clear: climate change was no longer a distant threat. It's here.
Thank you, Dr. Dockerman. So what's the takeaway? Hurricane Sandy wasn't just a storm. It was a climate red flag. It shows us that we're not immune to the consequences of environmental neglect. It forced change, but not enough. The next storm is coming. Are we ready? Thank you for watching. I'm Brandon Troost. Stay safe, stay informed, and let's stay ahead of the storm.